Welcome to our podcast called The Next Shot, where we talk about photography, videos, and how to edit your work. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of The Next Shot, where I'm joined with my co-host, Luke Lukasik. How you doing, Luke?
Hey, how's it going, Roger? How's everybody else?
Doing pretty good so far, man. Today, we do have an exciting episode for you guys. We are going to do some edits of two images that Luke and myself did for you guys, and we're going to show you how to do that. And Luke, what did you think about the images?
At first I thought they're not bad images, but let's see what we can do with them.
Right. So there's a lot of potential. Would you agree?
Yes.
Very good. All right. So first image that we're going to share with you guys is the tree by the river. So do you want to try to pull that up, Luke?
Here we go.
All right. Very good. I think that's got us there. Okay, so when taking this image, this was actually a river, lake, body of water on my way to work. So I seen it. Basically, it stood out to me as I drove by. So I thought, I'll take a quick snapshot of this and we'll see what we can do in post-production. So Luke, I think you have the edited version of this, and I'm going to walk you guys through what we did with the post-production as well. There it is. So Luke, overall, what do you think about the post-production image there?
I definitely love the post image. You made everything pop from what looked like there was nothing there to actually having some nice color.
Right. So believe it or not, all this was done on my iPhone through the app Snapseed. Again, I can't say enough about Snapseed, man. It's so quick and it's easy to edit. I think it took me maybe about 6 minutes to edit from start to finish, but basically taking this flat image into the Snapseed app, opened it up. Under the tools, you have what's called details, and under the details, you have structure. Now, structure, I took it all the way up to plus 100. And by doing that, it actually adds a little bit more depth, I believe, to the image. It gives it a little bit more contrast. And I also took the details up. When you bring up details in it, details was like a plus 20. It just makes the focus look so much better. Like I say, this was a quick snapshot that I did with my Sony a6000. Sent it straight to my phone. Was able to save it on there for an edit for maybe a time like this, to where we can kind of see what we can do with images like that.
Definitely.
So also the water. Looking at the water, if you look at the original image, the water was just kind of bland itself. It's almost like a brownish green. So I wanted to there you go.
Yeah.
So it has this fog on it as well. So that structure and that detail brings out those waves that are there. So when you go back to the edited image, that blue, so what I did is I went into the brush adjustment tool, and all I did was paint over the water, okay? And I had it on the temperature adjust. So I pulled it down to where it's a little cooler, so it gives it that blue tint. And to me, like you say, it brings out the details. It makes the water pop. And I also added a little bit of saturation to the red clay that's up there and the green in the trees, just to kind of see how that would work with this image.
Yeah.
So, but overall, I think it's a pretty good image. Like I say, this is one that I would have just passed by, but today's episode, I think it's perfect for showing the audience and listeners out there that images can be saved. So let's take a look at your edit and kind of give us an idea of how you did yours. The same image.
All right. So there's mine. Not as vibrant as yours, but I was really trying to stay away from the black and white that I'm comfortable with.
Right.
So I basically just darkened up some of the clay, darkened the trees. I enhanced, I brought down the highlights, brought up the shadows a little bit. Nothing really crazy. I didn't go nuts adjusting this one.
Right.
It was all just a lot of highlights and some color changing. But again, it's what you can do from the original, from that. You know what I'm saying? 15
Exactly.
minutes, 15 minutes just playing around with it, and you got something completely different, night and day. You
This
know?
is true, and that image is definitely worthy of printing. I definitely would agree. Just looking at some of the details in it, and we see stuff like this every day. We pass by, and we don't realize that it can be an image captured and
Hmm.
edited and turn out as good as it did. So, all right, the next one we're going to take a look at is, I think it's my favorite, and it's the sunrise reflection is what we're going to call this one. As you guys can see, this image here on the way to work as well was another one that has tons of potential.
Hmm.
Okay. And, you see the sunrise coming up behind the trees, you see the fog, and you've got that little reflection down at the bottom. So, Luke, this time we're going to take a look at what you did on your edit and kind of give us a rundown on how Lightroom helped you out there.
Yeah, definitely. So in Lightroom, this is my edit. It's a little vintagey, but
Right.
again, the one thing I do all the time, I pretty much drop my highlights, raise my shadows a little bit. That seems to be my style. Um, and I enhanced some of the colors. I popped the little bit of the blue, some of the orange. Um, it brightened up the ground a little bit. Not so much as in the shadow or in the puddle, but more topside
Right.
in the
Right.
skies.
Which is exactly what we wanted. We
Hmm.
wanted to draw the eye toward the sunrise, right?
Definitely.
Get that fog and kind of see that reflection as well. So, um, but great job. Like I say, it does have that vibe that you're talking about, almost like a 70s vintage vibe.
Hmm.
And what I like about it, it's almost like you see the destruction of the trees, but you see this beautiful sunrise behind it. It's almost like a good and bad.
Definitely.
And
Definitely.
the reflection also adds to it. I think it rained for a couple of days, and like I say, pulling over and that reflection is what caught my eye,
Hmm.
and to be able to capture that, it took about 5 minutes or less to set up that tripod, snap the image, right as the sun was coming up above the trees there. So definitely love that image. So all right, let's switch over to my edit of that image, and I'll kind of walk you through it as well. Very good. Okay, so on this one here. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Luke.
No, your sky is on fire. I like that.
It really is. And going into the Snapseed, looking at some of the options that you guys have, there's options on there called looks that are all predetermined for different scenarios that you're going to be shooting, whether it be landscape or portraits. But looking at the accentuate is what I went under. So I clicked on that. It brought out the skies. I didn't have to do the adjustments on it a whole lot. It helped the oranges and the reds as well. But going into the adjustment tools that you have, the tune image has what's called ambiance, I guess is what I call it, or ambience. When you go into that slider, it's similar to your highlights and your shadows
Hmm.
that you have in Lightroom, but it's one tweak. So they're mixed together. So as you go to the right and you use that slider, it brings those highlights down and those shadows up. So you can kind of tell it's bringing the picture to that neutral zone,
Yeah.
to where it knows, listen, we know the exposure was not correct, and then actually helps out with the final image as well. So and of course, in my image, I did a little vignette, which is another option that you have in
Hmm.
Snapseed. And you can adjust whether you want it to be on the darker side, or if you take a portrait and you want it to be on the white edge, almost like a beauty shot, you can then
Hmm.
go really high with that as well. So, but of course, when you guys go into doing your edits on any app, just make sure you save that final image. Compare the before and after, and like I say, Luke, this shot before, if you go back to it, we'll take a look at the original. Just looking at that picture there, that's something that most people wouldn't even deal with. They would take it and be kind of, it's an okay image. Would you
It's
agree?
it's something it's something that if you're just starting out in photography, if you see that, you're just gonna throw that away. You're gonna ignore it. You're gonna let it sit in your file. and just never ever touch it because it looks like garbage. You know, I'll be like, nah, I can't do anything with that. You know?
Right. And that's what we're trying to do is help you guys understand, not all images are throwaways, and you may see it different, but your camera captures it a totally different way.
Mm-hmm.
And we've all seen images like that. And we've all shot those images to where it's like, it's not really what I seen, but the camera actually said, well, this is what we got, and then you always look at that image and say, I can always adjust it in post. And with post processing now, as easy it is in Lightroom, like you say, less than 10 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
you can tweak that image and make something amazing out of it.
Definitely.
Okay, guys. So what we're also going to do is, if you like and you comment on our video and our podcast, we're going to be doing a giveaway, Luke. I think it's something we discussed prior to the broadcast.
Yes.
We're going to do a digital download for you guys on the final images, so you guys can go print them out. You can edit, do what you want to with them. If you want to work or practice on some of the before images, we'll be glad to shoot those over to you as well. We can email you the full res image, whatever you want to do. Just, that way you can practice and use the things that we've taught you guys today, whether you have Lightroom or if you want to download the Snapseed app. But I think that's a pretty good deal, don't you, Luke?
For sure. 100%. In fact, I'd even challenge them that whoever does a better edit than us can get something too.
I like that. So
go.
yeah, if you guys will accept the challenge and you want to do something like that, and we may actually feature you on another episode of our video and our podcast as well. All right, so guys, thank you again for joining us for this episode. We hope you enjoyed the edits and seeing kind of how we would work with these images. Again, thank you guys for all your support. And let us know if we can help you with anything. Make sure you leave comments, share the videos with all your friends and family. And we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of The Next Shot.
Thank you. Bye.